Alright, so A Raisin in the Sun, Act 1, is like walking into a drama that's part soap opera, part gritty real life, with a dash of hope and a sprinkle of chaos. It's giving this family is struggling but refuses to give up energy, and honestly, it's got more tension than the final boss fight in a JRPG. We kick things off in the younger family's cramped little apartment on the south side of Chicago, where dreams are big but space is definitely not. Picture this, you've got Mama, the queen bee of this whole operation, trying to keep everyone grounded in values and God, Walter Lee, her grown son, who's got big dreams but no chill, Ruth, Walter's wife, who is stuck playing referee between her husband and reality, and Benitha, Walter's sister, who is the OG I'm different from the rest of you character, like if an anime protagonist wore berets and loved medicine instead of swords. Oh, and there's also Travis, Walter and Ruth's son, who's just trying to vibe but can't escape the generational stress floating around the apartment like a permanent aura. The day starts with Ruth waking up super early, looking tired as heck because she's holding the whole family together while also battling her own struggles. She tries to get Travis ready for school, but Travis is like, hey, can I get 50 cents for school? Ruth is about to say no because, let's be real, money is tighter than a boss fight on low health, but she caves. Walter swoops in like, don't worry, son, here's a whole $1. Dude is really out here trying to flex when they're barely scraping by. Ruth's face says it all, she's like, seriously, Walter? You're just gonna throw money we don't have? But Walter's whole vibe is big dreamer energy. He's convinced that if he can just invest in this liquor store idea with his buddies, all their problems will be solved. Here's where it gets spicy. Walter tries to rope Ruth into hyping him up about the liquor store idea, but she's having none of it. She's exhausted, she's fed up, and honestly, she's over Walter's head in the clouds attitude. Ruth is out here like, can you focus on something real for once? Walter claps back, saying she doesn't support him or his dreams. It's like watching two characters in a visual novel pick opposite dialogue options, and you're just waiting for the consequences to drop. Then Mama enters the chat. Now, Mama is the heart of this family, and she's got this unshakable faith in God and in doing what's right. She overhears Walter going off about the liquor store and instantly shuts it down. Mama doesn't care how good Walter's business pitch is, she's not about to co-sign anything involving alcohol. She's all about protecting the family's dignity and values, and investing in booze? That's a hard no from her. Walter, of course, storms out of the house like an angsty teen who just lost an argument, and you can tell he's feeling betrayed by his family. Meanwhile, Benitha, Walter's sister, pops in, and let me just say, she's got main character energy. She's studying to become a doctor, which is already rare enough for a black woman in this time period, and she's not here for anyone trying to box her in. Walter immediately starts teasing her, calling her dream unrealistic, and Benitha fires back with some A-tier sarcasm. She's sharp, ambitious, and kind of low-key savage, which makes her clash with Walter even more. Mama is caught in the middle, trying to be supportive of Benitha while still reminding her to stay humble and respectful. Benitha, though, is in her rebellious phase, dropping bombs like, I don't even believe in God, which leaves Mama shook. Mama literally slaps her and forces her to repeat, in my mother's house, there's still God, and you can tell Mama is not messing around when it comes to her beliefs. In the middle of all this family drama, we find out there's a life insurance check coming, a fat 10 grand from the policy left behind by Mama's late husband. This money is the golden ticket everyone's fighting over. Walter sees it as the way to fund his liquor store, Benitha's hoping for some cash for her medical school tuition, and Mama? Mama's got dreams of her own, buying a house with enough space for the whole family and, most importantly, a yard where she can plant a garden. Everyone's dreams are crashing into each other, and you just know this check is about to cause some serious drama. Later, Ruth has a doctor's appointment, and when she comes back, we find out she's pregnant. Now, this should be a joyous occasion, but for Ruth, it's just another weight on her already overloaded shoulders. She's struggling to make ends meet as it is, and the idea of bringing another kid into this mess is overwhelming. The mood is heavy, like the family just took a critical hit in a boss fight. Act 1 also gives us some tea about Benitha's love life. She's got two suitors, George Murchison, a rich guy who's basically the walking definition of privilege, and Joseph Asagai, a Nigerian student who's all about reconnecting with African heritage. George is flashy and shallow, while Asagai is deep and challenges Benitha to think about who she really is. Benitha's dynamic with both guys is fascinating because it shows how she's trying to figure out her identity in a world that keeps trying to define it for her. Asagai even gives her some Nigerian robes and calls her Aleo, which means one for whom bread is not enough. It's a poetic way of saying she's hungry for more than just survival, she wants meaning, purpose, and greatness. Back at the apartment, Ruth finally tells Walter about the pregnancy, but instead of being happy, Walter just spirals even harder. He's feeling trapped, like his dreams are slipping further away, and he lashes out, blaming everyone but himself. It's one of those moments where you want to shake him and yell, dude, stop sulking and step up. Walter ends the act by storming out again, leaving Ruth and Mama to pick up the pieces. By the end of Act 1, the tension is so thick you could cut it with Sephiroth's sword. Everyone in the younger family has their own dreams, but they're stepping all over each other trying to chase them. Walter wants wealth and respect, Ruth just wants some peace and stability, Benitha's aiming for independence and self-discovery, and Mama is holding on to the hope of a better life for everyone. They're all stuck in this tiny apartment, bumping into each other physically and emotionally, and the pressure is building like a boiler about to burst. So that's Act 1, a wild mix of ambition, frustration, love, and straight-up chaos. It's clear this family has a lot of heart, but also a lot of issues to work through. Everyone's dreams are valid, but figuring out how to make them coexist? That's going to be the real challenge. Stay tuned, because you just know things are about to get even messier. Here's the tea on Act 2 of A Raisin in the Sun by Lorraine Hansberry. Picture this, the youngers are out here vibing, but life is doing its best to hit them with a few Dragon Ball Z level Kamehamehas. They're all chasing that American dream bag, but, spoiler alert, the dream doesn't come easy when you're black, broke, and living in 1950s Chicago. Anyway, buckle up because Act 2 is giving drama, ambition, bad decisions, and even some love triangles. Let's dive in. So, we kick things off with Benitha, who's already showing us she's the queen of mood flips. Sis is in the living room rocking this bold Nigerian outfit that her low-key crush Joseph Asagai gave her. She's out here twirling and pretending she's back in the motherland, channeling her inner warrior princess like she's auditioning for Black Panther. Walter walks in, and boy is he down bad. Dude's been wallowing in his brokenness all day, but instead of sulking quietly, he decides to roast Benitha's Afrocentric vibes. Walter, my guy, maybe don't bring main character energy to the wrong movie. Benitha is unbothered though, she's living her best life, and for once, Mama is on her side. Mama steps in, letting Benitha have her fun and even hyping her up. She's also in a surprisingly good mood because guess what? She bought a house! Yep, Mama finally did it. She used some of Big Walter's life insurance money to snag a home in Clybourne Park, and she's practically floating on air with the news. But here's the gag, Clybourne Park is an all-white neighborhood, and everyone knows that's gonna be a whole Call of Duty level mission to survive. When Mama spills the beans about the house, Walter is pissed. He wanted that money to fund his liquor store dream, and now it feels like someone just swiped his last pokeball when he's trying to catch a legendary. He storms out of the house after calling Mama out for not trusting him. Like, bruh, maybe put your big boy pants on and stop throwing tantrums every time you don't get your way. But Mama feels bad, and she's visibly stressed because she knows how badly Walter wants to make something of himself. She's just trying to hold the family together while Walter's out here chasing the Fortnite victory royale for his ego. Fast forward to later that night, and Ruth is living in this awkward limbo between being excited about the house and knowing it's a risky move. She and Mama are sitting around, and Ruth is daydreaming about how much better life is gonna be in their new crib. Ruth's got her sights set on some upgraded vibes, sunshine, space, and a chance to save her marriage. Oh yeah, her and Walter? Big yikes. Their relationship has been stuck on pause, like when your Wi-Fi is trash and you're buffering during the best part of an anime fight scene. Ruth is over the toxic vibes, though, and she's hoping the house will be a reset button. Meanwhile, Walter is MIA, probably drowning his sorrows in the cheapest beer he can find. Ruth is done being mad, though, and she just wants her man to snap out of it. When he finally rolls back in, the dude is on some big, dramatic I'm done with this family speech. But Mama's not here for the nonsense. She hits him with some hard truths and finally puts him in charge of the rest of the insurance money. She gives him $6,500 and says, put $3,000 away for Benitha's med school, and the rest is yours. Walter's face lights up like he just pulled a mythic weapon in Fortnite. He's finally feeling seen, like Mama actually trusts him to lead. And for a second, things are looking up. Now let's shift gears and check in on Benitha. Sis is caught in the middle of this Team Asagai versus Team George drama, and it's kind of hilarious. George Murchison, her bougie boyfriend, pulls up to take her out on a date, and let me tell you, the vibe is crusty. George is rocking his rich guy swag, but Benitha's sitting there like, ew, this guy. She's completely over his fake deep intellectual act. George has no time for her dreams or African roots, he just wants her to be a trophy girlfriend. He even calls her outfit eccentric, which is a fancy way of saying, why can't you just be basic? They start arguing, and George shows his true colors, calling Benitha all kinds of childish and idealistic. Benitha claps back, though, shutting him down with that sharp wit we love her for. It's clear she's done with his arrogant energy, but George is still trying to play the I'm rich, so I'm right card. Spoiler alert, he's gonna end up blocked. While that chaos is brewing, Walter is out here trying to live his best life. He's got that big money energy now, and he's dreaming up all kinds of plans. In his head, he's already turned that cash into $1 million liquor empire. He's pitching his dream to Ruth, painting this glowing picture of how rich they're gonna be. Ruth is cautiously optimistic, but you can tell she's crossing her fingers and toes that he doesn't screw this up. Then things get real when Carl Lindner, this shady dude from the Clybourne Park Improvement Association, shows up. He's the ultimate fake nice guy, all smiles but with a snake's agenda. Lindner's basically like, hey, love that you're moving to our neighborhood, but how about, don't? He's offering to pay the youngers to not move in, claiming it's for everyone's good. It's giving get out vibes, but the youngers aren't having it. Walter, Ruth, and Benitha collectively hit him with the verbal Uno reverse card and sent him packing. But the mood doesn't stay victorious for long. We get this gut punch of a twist when Bobo, one of Walter's buddies, shows up looking like he just got hit by a Mortal Kombat fatality. Bobo spills the tea. Willie Harris, the third partner in their liquor store plan, has disappeared with all the money. Yep, Walter handed over the entire $6,500 to this dude without locking down anything official. Now, not only is Walter's dream shattered, but the family's future is on shaky ground because Benitha's med school money is gone too. When Walter tells Mama, it's like watching a character's HP drop to zero in slow motion. Mama is devastated. She's been working her whole life to build something real for her family, and now it's all at risk because Walter got hustled. It's one of those moments where you just want to yell, why, Walter, why? But at the same time, you feel bad for him because his mistake wasn't just about greed, it was about wanting so badly to prove himself in a world that keeps tearing him down. The act ends on a heavy note, with everyone feeling the weight of Walter's blunder. Mama is heartbroken but determined not to let this destroy the family. Ruth is somewhere between furious and hopeful, and Benitha is grappling with her own disillusionment. Walter, meanwhile, is at rock bottom, but something tells you he's not ready to give up just yet. Act 2 is basically a masterclass in family drama and ambition. It's about how dreams can either bring people together or tear them apart, depending on how you chase them. The youngers are all out here trying to level up, but the game keeps hitting them with curveballs. It's messy, emotional, and painfully real, and you can't help but root for them to find their way out of the chaos. So, yeah, that's Act 2, part emotional roller coaster, part life lesson, all kinds of fire. Stay tuned because Act 3 is about to bring even more heat. Will the youngers rise from the ashes like Attack on Titan heroes, or will life deal them another brutal L? Only one way to find out. Alright, let's talk about Act 3 of A Raisin in the Sun. At this point, the younger family is sitting in the middle of a giant mess, and it's giving final boss-level energy. Walter just got scammed out of all the family's money, Benitha's med school dreams are circling the drain, and Mama's over here clutching her imaginary pearls because her son has gone and fumbled the family's entire future. The vibes? Absolutely tragic. We kick things off with the family in shambles. Benitha is done, like, done. She's spiraling, talking about how her dream of becoming a doctor feels fake now. She's hit that existential crisis where you're questioning why you even grind so hard when the world just keeps nerfing you. Walter is straight up catatonic at this point, looking like he got hit with a Final Fantasy-level curse spell. Ruth is trying to hold it together, but you can tell she's this close to breaking. And Mama? Oh, she's heartbroken in a way that hits you right in the feels. Then Joseph Assegai shows up, and honestly, the dude is giving motivational anime sensei vibes. He's like, Benitha, girl, don't let one L make you forget you're destined for greatness. He talks about his dream of helping his people in Nigeria and asks her to come with him. Benitha's all, sir, you're giving me pack your bags and leave everything behind energy, and I'm not sure I'm built for that. But you can see the gears turning in her head. Maybe she's not totally down for the count. Asegai's pep talk is like that one power-up you didn't know you needed in the middle of a tough boss fight. Meanwhile, Walter's over here plotting, and when he finally speaks, everyone's like, oh no, what now? He announces he's gonna call Carl Lindner, the neighborhood dude who offered to pay them not to move into their new house. Walter's plan? Take the money and save what's left of his pride. Ruth and Benitha are looking at him like, bro, have you completely lost your mind? Even Mama, who's been trying so hard to forgive and support her son, is like, Walter Lee, don't you dare sell us out. But Walter is stubborn, and he's determined to play the system, even if it means sacrificing their dignity. By the time Lindner shows up, Walter's in full performance mode. He's acting like he's about to accept the offer, and you can feel the tension in the room. It's like watching a slow-motion train wreck. But then, just when you think all hope is lost, Walter switches gears. Out of nowhere, he starts delivering this speech about pride, family, and legacy. He's like, nah, we're not for sale, my guy. We're moving into that house, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's a total My Hero Academia-style comeback moment, and you can't help but cheer a little. Mama's face? Priceless. She's beaming with pride because her son finally stepped up and made the right call. Walter's speech isn't just about sticking it to Lindner, it's about reclaiming their right to dream, live, and thrive despite the odds. It's one of those moments where you realize the youngers might be down, but they are never out. The play ends with the family packing up their things and getting ready to move. Sure, they've still got a long road ahead, and the challenges aren't magically gone. But for now, they're standing together, stronger than ever, ready to take on whatever comes next. It's not a perfect victory, but it's real, and that's what makes it hit different.